This time I'd like to call to order the 13 November 2023 Jackson County Commission meeting. I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's meeting. We do have a lot of items on the agenda tonight, both new business and in our work session. And we do have a couple of speakers tonight, so we'll give them a chance to speak to us in a few minutes. At this time, I'd like Mr. Manning, the county administrator, to please call the roll to establish a quorum.
District 1, Mr. Gully.
Present.
District 2, Mr. Kennemer.
Present.
District 3, Mr. Butler. District 4, Mr. McBride.
Present. We do have a quorum. Thank you very much. At this time, if everyone would please stand, I'll ask Mr. Porter, our county attorney, to please offer our invocation, and Commissioner McBride to please lead our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray together. God, our Father in heaven, we are so thankful. We enter into this period of time that we celebrate Thanksgiving, and we want to express our thanks as a community to you for watching over us and keeping us all safe. God, we're so thankful for these things. We're thankful for the beautiful county that we live in and for the people that populate this county. God, we're thankful for all our blessings. We pray you continue to watch over us and guide us every day. It's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In your packet is the agenda. There is one item that we've been asked to add to tonight's agenda. Hiring committee has made a recommendation to fill the vacant probate clerk position in the probate office, and so recommend adding that item as new business item I in the new business meeting portion of our agenda tonight. With that, do I have a motion to approve the 13 November 2023 agenda with the addition of new business item I, motion to approve hiring committee's recommendation for vacant probate clerk for the probate office?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Any awards or presentations tonight? If not, we'll move into public comments. I do think we have a couple of comments. First, Mr. Putman.
Yes.
We have a microphone here for you, sir.
Yes.
I will offer you 5 minutes time, but I need to ask you a couple of questions, just for the record. So
Yes, sir.
we have that. If you would state your name, please.
My name is Cody Putman.
Cody, thank you. Are you representing yourself or an organization?
Myself.
You're representing yourself. And if you would state the topic of your comment.
Water infrastructure.
Water infrastructure. Okay, sir. 5 minutes. Thank you.
All right. First, I would like to thank the commission for allowing me to speak. My name is Cody Putman. I'm a resident of Scottsboro, where I've lived my entire life. I come to you on behalf of myself and my neighbors. We are missing a vital piece of infrastructure in our community. We do not have access to public water. The public water line ends about 1.5 miles from my house. And my neighbors around me also lack the access. And we are dependent on antiquated technology, wells or spring lines to keep us with water. It leads to many issues with changing climate patterns, such as droughts like we're having now. It's a threat to the water that we do have. We also have numerous power outages leaving us without water because our well pumps won't work. Also, the expense of maintaining the sources of water that we use is high. Some of the elderly and disabled residents in our community are unable to maintain them. I myself have climbed the mountain many times to fix spring lines for ladies that aren't able to do it. And well water can also be a health hazard. They can be easily contaminated. The groundwater can be contaminated, and from studies that I've read, can increase your risk of developing cancer as much as 50%. I'm asking you today, as the governing body of Jackson County, to consider finding a way to secure funding for water infrastructure in our neighborhood, and to try to work with the County Water Authority to make this a possibility. They say high-speed internet's the new infrastructure that we need, but, I mean, I have that, but we don't have access to water. So I would like to thank all of you for allowing me to speak. I would especially like to thank my district commissioner, Kevin McBride, who's been working with me on this issue and doing a great job. So thank you for your time.
Okay, Mr. Putnam, thank you very much. Let me open for questions, if I could. Comments, questions?
Cody, how many residents are you talking about from you?
I would say 25, probably. 25, 30.
I mean, not that matters, but
I mean, it's at least 20.
Okay.
So, myself and Matt have looked at this. We drove around the water around the side where Cody lives on that side of that creek. It stops at that hunting club, and it's right out about a mile, I think, to where you're talking in the mile
1.2
background.
miles.
It'd be like, it would be around 2 miles if we did the circle, and I think that would do a lot for the water pressure. There's also some houses that own back in past him, and then back down toward Donnie Brown's that also we would hope to include in trying to get them some water as well. There's a definite need there, like Cody said. I mean, there's ladies that are having to ask people in the community to climb up in the mountains to unblock their springs so they can get water to drink and wash clothes with, and I think that's sad. So it's definitely something that my heart's in, and hopefully we can do something to help with that, look at getting that addressed.
So you have talked to the water authority about this? And,
I have not. I haven't had a chance to. I don't know when their
I
meetings
gather-
are,
I
but I,
Hey, Matt's getting me an estimate on what it would cost to
Okay.
get us around to there.
Okay.
He's supposed to be getting that back to me, he said soon. I don't know what that means, but that was last week, and I talked with him last.
Okay. Well, let me offer, certainly I'll give a call to Matt Hastings and chat with him about that, where they are on this, whether there are grant opportunities and what other types of funding opportunities that we could possibly find to help with this situation. From our perspective, we certainly would encourage that, and we will talk with the water authority.
thank you.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Putnam. Next speaker, Mr. Walker. Ms. Walker? Okay. Then Ms. Walker, offer you 5 minutes for time to speak, and I do need to ask you those 3 questions. Just for the record, would you please state your name?
My name is Aletha Roberta Walker.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And are you representing yourself?
Myself.
Yourself? And the topic of your discussion?
I guess the topic of possible is Jackson. I'm trying to summarize it. I have a thing I'm going to hand that out to you.
Okay.
Because I've been suffering from a cold, so I'm going to have to cut it short.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
But it's regarding land that I inherited from my parents off of County Road 169 in Fackler, Alabama.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. If you have a handout, we will.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I think you might represent your district too, right? You can just press.
I will, I'll be glad to.
I'm going to summarize this since I'll probably get the coughing and hopefully not infect anybody. My name is Aletha Walker. I live at 1172 County Road in Fackler, Alabama. I was raised in Fackler, Alabama, and I raised my children in Fackler, Alabama. I'm here today with my brother Robert Stewart, who also lives in Fackler, Alabama. We are both property owners. We own the property which we live on with also our property that we received from our parents. The property which we own has been in the family for over 100 years. First, for the last 4 years, we have been fighting a case in Jackson County, which you all's attorney, Porter, represent Cecil Beaver, which it also reside in Jackson County. And Mr. Beavers has owned his property, which is on the top of the mountain like you're going to up to Alabama Power. He has not lived on that piece of property. He is making a claim to take our property adverse possession, which requires 20 years. It has been taxing the situation. However, I understand these things happen. You must just wait and go through the process. I understand that. However, I do not understand how Attorney Porter could petition the court to make a part of our property a county road, which I have asked him about, called my representative, that commission, about what are their plans, because I don't understand it. He filed a petition to make the property and other landowners' property a public road. He only made the petition after he realized that he could not meet the elements of the adverse possession, as we refused to give him what he wanted. After the hearing last week, he told the judge that he would represent Mr. Beavers at plaintiff and the county as an defendant. How can he do this? How can there not be a conflict? I am a taxpayer. I live in Commission District 2. I wanted the commission to know that the tactics that he's using was doing in his position. I know that he does not represent us in his private practice. Should we be punished because he is also the county attorney? I feel that he is using his position to gain an unfair advantage. His petition is not right. At least the hearing, he was moving forward to county attorney and as Mr. Beavers, which was denied at the thing. For now, they said for now. I know that, I'm going to skip down here. I'm going to skip on down. You can read yourself on it. In the commission, work for us as citizens. Why would it favor one citizen over another? I came here today because I wanted the commission to make an informed decision. I do not want our land taken by a red stamp of something. Also, I wanted to know if the commission practiced to allow Mr. Porter to petition on the behalf of the county, and if he is acting on his behalf. I personally think it's unethical. I wonder if the state attorney general was aware of this practice of taking people's property. And all I wanted to know is, I'm a very laid down person, and I believe in doing right. But I wanted to find out, and that's the reason I called my commissioner to see. I talked to him on the phone to see, is it some plans I'm unaware of that the reason they want to come across my land and go up at my inherited land, not the land I live on, and to make a public road, which we have a gate blocking it now. So.
Well, let me offer you the comment that you deserve us to look into this, and we will definitely look into this. I'm sorry, this is the first time I've heard about this, but this is a matter that we need to take under consideration and go look at it.
Okay.
And I'm going to welcome you back to the next meeting, because we need to look at this in the next 2 weeks and provide an answer to you where we think we are on this issue of 169 in your property.
Yes. Yes,
that's what I can offer you today, because I do want to look into this, what you say. You certainly have the right to come to this commission and speak to this commission on this issue, and we appreciate you doing that.
All right, thank you.
Let me ask if anyone else has a comment. Thank you for coming, ma'am.
Yeah, I thank you for coming and bringing this to our attention.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, that's the last comment. By the way, our next meeting is on the 27th of November. It's right here, and we will be in a position then to give you information where we think we stand. We'll work this. With that, we will move into the new business portion of our meeting. First of all, in the package you have the minutes from the October 23rd meeting, as well as minutes from the October 30th special work session that we had. Do I have a motion to adopt the minutes from the October 23rd, 2023 meeting and work session on October the 30th, 2023 special work session?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. To have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion or questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. In a previous work session, we had a discussion about approving a litter control notice and citation form for our solid waste department. That form is in your packet. It is a notion of citation to appear. It's a notice that says, would say to whoever it is applied to, that we give notice on behalf of Jackson County Commission that items found in an accumulation of garbage, trash, or other discarded material contains your name and address. You can present satisfactory evidence to the undersigned as the designee of the Jackson County Commission to rebut the presumption that you deposited the litter described above within a 15-day period from this notice. So it does give the individual who receives notice the opportunity to bring information to the solid waste department to discount that they are responsible for that. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the litter control notice and citation to appear form from solid waste department?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any discussion or question? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next, this week, and I believe tomorrow, is Retired Teachers Day for our state, and so we have a resolution regarding that. The resolution is Resolution 2325, and it states, whereas public education is the foundation of our society and is the most critical element in the progress and enlightenment of our state and nation. And whereas the public educators in our educational system have carried the torch of knowledge, opening doors to the challenge and excitement of learning from countless youth. And whereas public educators, because of their deep and abiding love of children, have displayed a commitment to their students and dedication to their profession. And whereas our state's retired public educators have served long careers, laboring throughout their tenures to educate our state's school children. And whereas retired public educators throughout Alabama are deserving of the highest praise and recognition our state can bestow for devotion to their profession. Now therefore be it resolved that the Commission of Jackson County does hereby proclaim November 14, 2023 as Retired Teachers Day in the county, and encourages all citizens to join together in paying tribute to its retired public educators. With that, do I have a motion to approve and sign resolution for Retired Teachers Day on November the 14th, 2023?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. To have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any comment or discussion?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for you guys coming. As a retired educator, I realize that how important it is that we recognize you for your hard work and your dedication. I regret that I won't be able to attend this. Are y'all having a meeting? When you have your meeting? Tomorrow, and I won't be able to make that. It'll be the first one I've missed, but I certainly wish I could be there. And anything I can do to help us, let me know. And tell Ms. Brown I said hi.
I will. Would I be allowed to speak for just a moment?
Yes, ma'am. I will give you a few minutes to speak.
After Mr. Butler, perhaps?
Well, absolutely, Dr. McGriff. You come on up and I'll just talk while you're walking.
I'm walking.
And I want to just say that I apologize for my tardiness. I'm
Yeah, I
still
was taking that.
currently employed as an educator. But without a doubt, one of the best bosses I had was Tony McGriff. And so thank you for setting me right and on the right course early in my career, and it was very beneficial to me. So it's an honor seeing you tonight, and glad that you're part of this program.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you to the commission. You've always done this when we've asked, and we certainly appreciate it. There's over 300 retired educators in Jackson County, And a lot of them are teachers, but not all. Some of them are bus drivers. Some of them are food service workers. Some of them are school secretaries. And we couldn't have done what we did in the classroom had we not had those people.
Right.
Tomorrow is Retired Teachers Day. It's a part of American Education Week. We do have our regular Jackson County Education Retirees meeting. It'll be at 10 o'clock at the RecCom, and we'd be happy to have any or all of you come by with us. I have with me today Susan Carlisle, who is a retired math teacher at Scottsboro High School, and we've got a couple of retired folks up here as well. I think we have 3, right? So we do appreciate all that you all have done. I do want to say this, that we tried to make an impact on people when we were in the classroom, but as retirees, we continue to do that. Many of our folks work at helping people in the community. They may drive somebody to the doctor. They may help pack backpacks for the weekend food for children that need that support. That's a big program in Jackson County. They may help, in fact, this afternoon, and I looked at my fingers when I started, I've got chipped fingernails because I spent this afternoon packing bread at a food pantry. And that's the kind of things we do. We were recognized as a unit of excellence, and we've done that every year. But we were also given a facsimile check for over $22,000 to represent the volunteer work that we give back to the county. So I'm really proud of Jackson County Education retirees. I thank you all again for recognizing us.
Well, thank you very much. If you don't mind, I'd like to sign this resolution tonight, and if we could all sort of, do we have a camera here anywhere? Okay, we do.
Is there any press here?
And, hold on, just a moment.
Recognized you.
We're very proud to have the opportunity to sign this. Thank you, ma'am.
You better get Hal's got a flip phone.
So guys, if we can step down, please.
Which corner are we getting in? Right. That's right.
Get that straight.
Now, I'm an old yearbook sponsor. Everybody turn to the side. Don't go flat on
All
it.
right, 1, 2, 3.
As a math person, it has to be even.
We're getting instructions while we're standing up.
Let's flat him a little bit.
All
right.
right.
Over there.
Can't have a time.
You know, once yeah, we're okay. Yeah. We're trying to y'all come up and hold hands and everything else.
Can I get this in to come out just a smidge? There you go.
This is much.
Next on our agenda is a motion to approve the hiring policy for Public Works. We're going to take an exception with this for our Public Works Department on our hiring policy. We have approved with the 2024 budget the authorization to hire a new work crew for our Public Works Department, and that work crew is to work on strip paving for sections of road that have periods or stretches of, I would call them a number of potholes and roads are in bad shape. And rather than continuing to just fill potholes, let's repurpose the road bed and pave it rather than filling potholes. And in doing this, over time, it'll take years, but over time we'll have more roads that are paved and fewer miles of roads that require patching. And that's the objective of what this is for. But The purpose of this policy will allow us to move quickly with the hiring process so that we can get this work started for the citizens of the county. We had this discussion in a special work session. The county commission believed that we ought to move rapidly on this and make an adjustment. I will say we will look at this later on for other departments within the commission and see whether it's applicable to those departments as well. So I think that's enough said regarding this, but the process really would be that we would look initially internal for hiring, and if there are qualified folks here, the director can have the authority to recommend that we hire internal. If we do not have anyone qualified internal, then the recommendation would be to go external and hire and make an announcement to the public to seek candidates for hire. And so this allows this process to move rapidly through the process. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the hiring policy for our Public Works Department?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. Any questions or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Also, we have what I will call an issue at our park, and that issue is that we have an antiquated access control system out there that the technology has gotten old, and we need to upgrade that so that we have assurance of good control of people that are entering our campground at our park. We did go out for quotes. We got one quote. The total price of that would be $28,550. It is to put in the new access control system. There are several elements to that, but the total price is the $28,550. And we think this is important so that we have better security and better control of folks who are entering the campground portion of our Jackson County Park. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the purchase of access management control system for Jackson County Park?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any questions or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Another area that we have been working on, and I think this has been for nearly a year, or maybe a little longer than a year. One of the things we want to make sure of in our Jackson County Jail is that we have a scanner that can detect any type of drug or any illegal substances or items that are could come into our county jail. And with that, we're proposing to contract for a new body scanner that can be used there that will give us the opportunity to be able to do that. We have a quote from Tex 84. It is for a Tex 84 Intercept whole body security scanning system. It comes with an initial 1-year warranty and an additional 3-year warranties for this system. This system is used in a little over 900 different jails across the nation, and has a lot of reputable use for the purpose that it would be used for. The total price that we had estimated was $250,000 for this type of scanner. We got one bid. We did put it out on state bid law for bid. The quote we got, or the bid that we got, is for $189,200 for this new scanner. So that was nice to see, given it's about $60,000 under our original estimate. So with that, do I have a motion to approve and sign the contract and resolution for the whole body scanner for the Jackson County Jail?
I'll make that
We
motion.
have a motion, have a second.
I'll second that.
We have a second. Any questions? Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We have 3 hiring committee recommendations for tonight to consider. First is we have from Mr. Chad Coleman, the Jackson County Council of Aging, and the hiring committee has made a recommendation to fill the open transit bus driver position at Jackson County Council of Aging. The position will be at a grade 2, step 1. And with that, do I have a motion to approve the hiring committee's recommendation for the vacant bus driver position at Council of Aging?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any questions or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Another position is for the vacant mapper 1 position for our Revenue Commission office. Revenue Commissioner Jeff Arnold is making a request based on a hiring committee's recommendation that we approve the hiring to fill the vacant mapper 1 position in the mapping and appraisal office, and that position will be a grade 6, step 1 position. Do I have a motion to approve the hiring committee's recommendation for the vacant mapper 1 position for the Revenue Commission office?
I make that motion.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any questions or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Our last recommendation is for a probate clerk position in the probate office. The hiring committee met today, and we have a request from probate judge, Mr. Judge Victor Manning, and based upon the committee's recommendation, he is requesting that we approve filling the probate clerk 1 position at a grade 5, step 1 position. Do I have a motion to approve the hiring committee's recommendation for the vacant probate clerk position for the probate office?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any questions or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. That concludes all the items in the new business portion of our meeting. We will now move into the work session. First item in work session is from our solid waste department. Director Skipper, please.
Good evening. Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. Let me speak tonight. I'll keep it short and sweet. You should have a quote in front of you. Back in September, we sold 4 pickup trucks. We've done really good on them. And we only purchased 3 to replace them. I was trying to recoup some money back till we purchased the 4th one, and now we got some money coming in on selling some other vehicles, and so just trying to replace that 4th pickup truck. So that's what you have here before you is a price for a 2023 that somebody backed out on the state bid list. So it'll save us a little money to go ahead and purchase this one than wait for the 2024s to come in.
Okay, any questions?
Is there a time limit on this as far as this quote?
On this one here, he said if we can get a PO, he'll hold it for us.
So you need a PO quickly?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Like before the next meeting quickly?
If I could ask, I know I've asked a lot, so I try not to ask much. If I could ask if you are okay with setting aside the rules to vote on it, I would ask that tonight.
Okay, do I have a motion to set aside the rules?
I'll make that motion.
A motion, to have a second?
I'll second that.
Any questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do I have a motion to approve the hiring or the purchase of a 2023 F-150 4x4 pickup truck for the price of $42,345 from Stivers Ford Lincoln? Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, to have a second?
I'll second that.
Do you have a second? Any comment or discussion?
Is this a single cab?
It's a crew cab.
Crew cab?
This is about, the 2023 to the 2024 is about $6,000 cheaper. That's why I was trying to push this.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions?
You alluded to the fact that you had secured some funds. Do you
Yes.
want to elaborate on that?
Yes, sir. We sold a 2015 garbage truck Thursday for $74,500. We done really good. We had a reserve set for $50,000, so we did $24,500 more than what we was expecting.
Outstanding.
Okay.
And so, was it just unnecessary, the garbage truck, or how are you replacing that?
We had one come in back in September, October, and so we just, when one comes in, we're replacing them. Yes, sir.
Very good, thank you.
We had previously surplus that truck?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, we sold that garbage truck on Gov Deals.
And this truck is to replace one of the 3 other pickup trucks that you sold a month or 2 ago, is that correct?
One of the 4.
One of the 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Next, Revenue Commission, we have in the packet a post-retirement employment contract. It is between Jackson County, Alabama, through the Jackson County Revenue Commissioner, and Mr. Johnny Green would be employed in the office of the Revenue Commission, employed in the category of an exempt part-time contract employee, and would be, as I understand, working in mapping and appraisal office. Okay, I'm sorry. Eric? Okay,
He's currently already there.
okay,
Kind of renewing his contract.
okay. And the continuation of this is needed because,
Well, his contract currently was a 1 year, is ending the end of this month.
okay,
This is to extend his contract for 36 more months.
okay.
Is he still capped on what he can earn?
Yes.
Is that reflected in his contract?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it says in the contract he can't go over.
I just
whatever
knew that
level
was an
is.
issue with him, so.
Okay, is this an item that can be placed on the next meeting
They could be
agenda?
placed on next meeting.
Next meeting agenda, so if everyone's okay, we'll put it in new business for our next meeting, okay? Also, we have a request from Revenue Commission for reclassification of a position within mapping from mapping clerk to mapping and appraisal tech. Eric, if you wouldn't mind just explaining what you're requesting here.
Okay, so what we're requesting here is you just did the mapper. We had a promotion to go from a mapping clerk to be promoted to that mapper. So we've had in the works trying to do away with our clerk positions in our office and move them to a tech position. So that's what we're asking here to do, is take that mapping clerk that we promoted, change it to a mapping and appraisal tech. It's a different grade, has a little bit more job responsibilities.
Okay, any questions?
And I would ask, like Caleb, to set aside the rules if y'all approve this, to vote on it, so we can go ahead and advertise the mapping and appraisal tech, maybe as soon as tomorrow, so we can go ahead and get the position filled.
So with the hiring we did today approved, you
And
now have a
approve, this opens
vacancy
up
in
this
this
position.
position.
We'd like to change it to a tech
Okay,
and open that up for advertisements, hopefully tomorrow.
And that changes the pay?
It does change a little bit. It does have more responsibilities than just the clerk.
so it moves it to a
From a
grade
grade
5.
4 to a grade 5.
Grade 4 to grade 5 position. Okay. Any further questions?
I'll make a motion, we set aside the rules.
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
second that.
we have a motion, we have a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we have a motion to approve changing, or reclassify a position in mapping appraisal office from mapping clerk to mapping and appraisal tech?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
We have a second. Any questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next, Council of Aging. Mr. Coleman. In your packet, you have an estimate for a security access system. And so, Mr. Coleman, let me turn the floor over to you.
Yes, just due to some recent activity that's happening around our facility, we're requesting that you take a look at this and allow us to come up with a security system that's sort of like what the courthouse has. And Ross and Colby May can give a few more details exactly of what this quote means. It would be a badge entry system on the front door and the side door. And we have an intercom system at the front to where anybody, participants, employees, whoever comes up that doesn't have a badge would hit a button, go into our office system to the receptionist area. She has a screen and she'll know who it is, and communicate with them, doors unlocked, come on in. So is that the gist of this system, Ross? Yep. So that's what this quote here is, and that's what we were asking to do.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, is this going to lead to an additional personnel that's to man the system, or will y'all internally be able to?
It'll be our receptionist now. She'll just have a little monitor sitting on her desk. Okay. So it'll buzz through to her, and she can communicate out through the intercom system and hit the access button and let them in. Okay. The employee entrance will be just with the badges, just like we have and you guys have.
Is this something we can put on the next meeting agenda?
Yes, if it has to be voted on. That's
yes. It'll have to come before the commission for given expenditure.
So right now we have our doors locked and we have a.
Well, my question is, when we're talking about safety of the.
I would prefer y'all go ahead and set aside the rules now, if you will. Yes.
Well, you're expressing a concern because obviously there's something happening.
If y'all would set aside the rules, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I would recommend we move ahead with this. I believe the city has already approved.
The city's voting on it tonight, I believe, as well, for their building.
And we have all had this discussion, given some of the recent activity in the in Council of Aging facility. We think it's necessary to do this. So, do I have a motion to set aside the rules?
I like that motion.
We have a motion. Have a second.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Do I have a motion to procure a security access system to be installed in our Jackson County Council of Aging facility here in Scottsboro at a price of $7,515.15 from J&B Electronic Systems LLC?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Have a second. Any questions?
The only, it's just personal question, the badge that works here, is it going to work there? So will that be programmed that way?
All logging and everything will be done from here.
Okay, all right. Very good.
Okay. Any further questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. At this time, let me turn it over to our HR department. As you know, we are going through the process of updating all of our job descriptions for all our employees in all our departments, taking into consideration a study that was done by Auburn University, I think a couple years ago, in fact. And so it's taken a little while, and as we say, we're looking at every job description, every form. Now, let me turn it over to Ms. Willis, our HR director.
Okay, so I would like to make a comment that maintenance superintendent, maintenance supervisor, shop supervisor, and lead mechanic were all approved on 8/9/21. That's the reason they're not in the file that you received. The remainder of the job descriptions were in the file for you to review. We are taking the format from Auburn, making corrections, and then each of those were in there for you to review. I'll answer any questions if you had any. Okay,
and so the objective tonight is to just make sure everyone knows that we're doing that. They do have the job descriptions. This is not something that we need to vote on tonight. It's to give the commissioners the opportunity to review those.
Right.
If they have questions, they can contact you regarding those job descriptions. And we would put this on the agenda for our next next meeting session. Okay.
And there were not any requested grade changes. We did change the financial clerk to the job title of office manager, but no request for any grade changes.
Okay.
And thank you for this. I know getting that study back was a massive undertaking, and I know you're biting it off bit by bit, and so I appreciate what you're doing.
We're trying to be diligent. We're slower than we would like to be, but with everything else going on, we're just taking it department by department. So thank you for your
I'd rather you be slow and get it right as to rush through and us
Thank you.
be no better off.
Right, thank you.
Okay, with that, thank you very much. And if anybody needs anything from Michelle, let her know, whether it's paper or whatever, so. Next up, Public Works, we have two items. Alabama Department of Environmental Management Stormwater Grants. We've been fortunate enough to get several of those, and have a vehicle, I think, requesting equipment surplus. Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Chairman, gentlemen. The first agreements referenced were dated October 2nd, 2023, and this is the final summation to the grants that we previously discussed in other meetings. They are bridge culvert replacement projects that we had submitted and were awarded for County Road 365 in Pisgah, County Road 32 in Carnes, County Road 88 in Pisgah. They're two separate agreements because they were under two separate grant applications and two separate awards. So the agreements before you and included in your information outline the requirements from the county and the participation agreements from ADM. And the request tonight is for your review, but also permission to sign these agreements and return to ADM. We're not under a distinct timeline on the return, but the agreement does break down our requirements and deadlines that must be met as the project would progress. So we are under obligation, as it references, for to begin the work and be underway by December 2024 and expend funds by December 2026. So.
Okay. One note we do have in here, and you explained that to us last time we met, is there are matching fund requirements. I believe, Jonathan, you said that this can be done by in-kind work.
Yes, sir. The scope of work must follow the projected estimate that we submitted with our application, and that estimate includes our matching fund portion of this agreement, and those matching fund portions are in-kind services. So our labor and equipment effort of installing this in-house will satisfy our matching amount.
Okay. Okay, I think you have a second one. We may have covered, but you did cover both of them, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
This is excellent. Thank you. This is,
thank you.
To brag on Jonathan a little bit, this gets us much needed projects that would otherwise have to come out of our operating costs. And so thank you for
Let me add to
going
that,
the extra mile.
if I could, that through the work of the Public Works Department this year, we have been able to get this year $1.6 million in grants that are applicable to road resurfacing, bridge work, and other works that need to be done in this county. And also need to say thanks to the state. They've been very good to us this year in helping us with these funds. So, Jonathan, thanks very much. This can be put on the next new business
Yes, sir,
agenda
please.
to approve. Okay?
Yes, sir. And that's the work of the engineering staff and the men and women of Public Works, and very, very little to do with me, so thank you for those remarks.
Thank you.
The next item, equipment surplus. There is a proposal dated November 7th, 2023 from J.M. Wood Auction Company. This is for asset that we have received the replacement. So as you see there, the date of the auction is scheduled for December 5th through 7th. We received this replacement vehicle last week with very little notice. We knew that the vehicle was being equipped prior to delivery, but we weren't sure of the date. So we were able, thanks to the commission office, we were able to secure a check and provide payment for this and receive the vehicle last week. So we wanted to move quickly in advance of this auction. The request is to surplus the 2023 Kenworth 280 day cab with the VIN that's listed in this proposal, and hopefully make that December auction if this meets with your approval.
So you need us to move on this tonight?
If there's comfort level there, it would help the agenda, and I think it would be best for the county. And I say that because if we intend to move forward with this would allow for the advertisement blast and the listing in the solicitations that will go out, not just the day of auctioning. So if we're okay with moving forward, that would help, and I do appreciate your consideration of that.
Okay. Comments, questions?
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
Okay, we have a motion to set aside the rules.
No, second that.
We have a second. Any questions, comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. So with that, do I have a motion to surplus a Public Works 2023 Kenworth T880 day cab truck?
I made that motion.
We have a motion, have a second?
I'll second that.
Have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Thanks, John.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate the work everyone's doing. We have several items in our commission portion tonight. One is a use of some IDB funds, industrial development funds, for some work at our, I will say, our county airport here in Scottsboro. So, sir, if you would, please. We do have a item and information in the packet for everybody tonight.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. I'd like to say one thing about the teachers. I'd be remiss if I didn't say it. When I was in high school, I know it would seem impossible that I was considered kind of a wild Indian in high school, but the teachers Dawn and I started going together with my wife in the 10th grade. And they got together with me when I was in 11th, and they said, look, it's like you and her are pretty serious. If you're going to get out of school and be able to be around her when she gets out, you better bulk her down. So I did. Some 54 or 55 years later, we're still husband and wife. But I credit that to the teachers, you know. And my daughter's a teacher. I love teachers. To get what I'm here for, we've got at the airport out here, and the chairman said it, it's always been called the city airport, but it really handles as much county business as it does city. And by that I mean airplanes that come in here to see their plants. You know, Bridgeport, Mohawk, you got U.S. Gypsum, you got Google, you got Engineering Floors, Yamaha, and you got Tennessee Alloys, which Tennessee Alloys don't send many in here. Stevenson, you got West Rock with 416 employees, and a lot of West Rock, a lot of planes come in here a lot of times to go to West Rock. Taylor Manufacturing, which is located in Stevenson, and the owner of that Taylor Manufacturing owns an airplane at Scottsboro, keeps it here. Lambert owns an airplane, and Lambert Incorporated. He keeps it here, and he's building houses and doing things all over the place. Hollywood, you got Jackson County Industrial Park, the Kevin Duke Career Center, Innovation Center. And if we're not lucky to have something like that in this community, being Jackson County and around Scottsboro, and everybody in Jackson County, we just don't have our eyes open. That thing is going to be great for students and young people coming through it, and it's going to develop it, and it's going to give us more ways to, you know, fill jobs that come into Jackson County, because I'm telling you, we're getting down to where there's not that many people that can fill these jobs that are coming in. So that is just one. Kevin Dukes, he had a foresight to start something like that, to stay in it after, and work with AJ on the board when we were on the EDA board together to help Jackson County, Kevin Dukes, to move that forward. CFD Research, which is located out behind KTNA. I never could get a job there because you got to be a rocket scientist, and I'm just 1, 2, maybe grade below that. But there's a great organization to have here in Jackson County. I mean, it's just, you know, they're Rhodes Scholars that are right there. Pisgah has Polymer Industrial. If you're ever going out to Henniger, you can't even get by there. That's such a big plant. They just keep adding on. Countywide, I mean, you got coaches that fly into Scottsboro. They go around to all the schools in Jackson County when we have some outstanding athletes, and they've been some. TVA comes in and out of our airport. Agriculture, 3 or 4 months out of the year, the season is in for spraying, and they set up out at our airport and they spray I don't know how many farms here in Jackson County. Not to mention all the industrials in Scottsboro that use our airport. You know, all the industrial parks we got on both ones. I can't tell you how hard it is to try to keep. I've been on the airport board for 25 years. Been chairman of it for 25 years. I've been on the economic development board. I'm vice chairman of it. Been on that thing for 20 or 25 years. Those things coupled together, our economic development, that we go out and try to prosper and grow and bring people in, a lot of it comes through that airport. So I've stayed on that so long because I am an aviator. I've been flying since 49 years. I've been flying. I've owned several airplanes. I used it in my business, and I still use it for pleasure and for business too. I got a flight in the morning. I'm taking our president of Northeast out here down to Auburn for a meeting so he can get back for the dedication of the softball field. Something that couldn't be done unless they went down there tonight and stayed all night, and he had a meeting tonight, so he couldn't do it. He called me and asked me if I'd do it, and I said, be glad to. So it's just, there's over 250 acres of airport. That's that's counting the runway, that's counting the aprons, that's counting the FBO, that's counting where the hangars sit. And then that property around it has to be fenced, it has to be kept up. We've had, 8 years ago, we had to reseal, we had to re-pour the runway with asphalt because it was sinking down into the ground. We got that done. That's $1 million job. Richard Shelby, who I went 3 years in a row on my own dime to get him to sign off on that, and he finally did. And now we just finished seal coating it and striping it, which that has to be done every 5 or 6 years. And there's grants. There's state grants and there's federal grants. But they're 90-10. Some of them, sometimes when we got that federal grant to redo the runway, but the state didn't get their 5% that year. I went to the commission years ago to get that 5% so we didn't lose that asphalt to redo the runway. Well, I said all that to say this. We got everything on our aprons has been resealed and it's going to last. We've got one portion that's probably 3 football fields. You've got a copy of it in green that sits in front of the old hangars. That's the only thing we like about the seal coating our whole airport. We got a $140,000 bill on getting that done. That is that grant comes from the state, and it's not a 90-10, it's a 75-25. So we got to come up with a bunch of cash there, and I'm coming for y'all to try to get 25 to get that thing done. So 25,000, so we can get the rest from the city. I've gone to the city over the past 10 years, and they've come up with over $900,000 of their 5% grants. And of course, they got now when I go for the city, everybody up on, they just about run off, take a break, and I don't know if they come back or what. But I'm trying to tell you what that airport does for the county. It's really more for the county than it is the city. And I'll end my 5 minutes or 10 or how long I took and open it up for questions.
Let me ask, how much are you needing from the county?
25,000.
25,000?
Yeah. I wanted 35, but I'm just going to ask for 25.
Okay.
I may come back with other things. Do what?
Any discussion with the city to cover the balance?
Yeah, I done discussed it with them. They'd be glad to. And they're tickled that I'm coming to y'all to participate in it. Because like I say, we just done a $500,000 lighting system on the runway. That's where we'll come in at night. We can click our my buttons and the runway lights come up. A lot of planes come in here at night. We just finished a $80,000 project to resurvey it so we qualify for night landing for jets that come in here. They won't come, they're not legal to come in here and shoot an approach. We have approaches on either end of the runway that will line you up, bring you in, and bring you down. So I mean, there's so much that needs to be done that we bought up properties. We got properties that we bought up, everything on the southeast part of the runway, because we can't go north because the railroad runs parallel with the runway. We have accumulated enough property to build 2 100,000 square foot hangars. And I've been in negotiations with Ulysses, and the guy that runs Ulysses, they're out of Alaska, but they've got a big plant in Huntsville in their small airport in MDQ, I call it, Madison County. They're just about full up down there. So I've been trying to negotiate with him to get him to build a hangar up here that he would have at least 75 jobs restructuring helicopters that come in from the Middle East. You know how they sand, they store sand, the engines don't last that long. So he told me, he said, Rudder, it ain't a matter if you're going to not get one, you're going to get one. It's just a matter of when. So we stay abreast of that and trying to buy all that property that we can. And that money is FAA funded, but it's like I say, it's 90-10, and we're closing on, I don't know if y'all read the paper, we're closing on 2 pieces of properties now. So this that I'm coming for y'all for, I'm stretched out on trying to get monies to get these things completed. And like I say, it's been a 25-year upgrade to try to get it to where we're at now. And there's 70 airports in the state of Alabama. 6 of them are your Birminghams, your Huntsville, your Mobiles, those kind of major airports. But the rest of them, probably 65 of them, are just regular general aviation airports. And we rate among the top 5 in those in the state of Alabama. It's because we stay after it, hard after it. And I'm a member of the Alabama Aviation Council. And that's how I know all this. We meet once a month at Montgomery Airport. I fly down there to that. You know, there's 19 of us representing how many counties are in the state of Alabama? 67 counties. How many are they? Y'all may know that more than I do. But I'm there to try to make sure we get our fair share of the state money and our fair share of the federal money. Okay. Because if you don't push it, you don't get it. Any other questions?
Well, let me make sure everyone knows. Our IDB fund, how much money do we have in the fund?
I forget the exact amount.
A little over 280,000.
289 or 290,000.
Yeah. Okay, so we have funds in there. That fund is set aside for
economic development
work that can be done to help stimulate economic growth for the county. So, any questions and comments from members?
I just want to thank you, Rudder. Obviously, your passion is very evident in understanding the economic development. With serving on the board with you, I realized how impactful it is, not only being close to the airport, but having an airport that's growing and developing, because that's sometimes the deal breaker with a company coming or not. And so I understand that very, very much. But also, you look at any area that is growing, their airport's growing. And if we desire to grow and to improve the life for everyone, that's one of the areas that has to improve.
Thank you. And the piece that is colored in green, that is a piece that we like having secured. So it's already, gravel starting to come up in. You know how asphalt does. If we can get that secured, that helps us, and the property that's behind it, that parallels the inbound traffic coming into Scottsboro, that helps if you're redoing helicopters or redoing King Airs, that you have access to our runway. And that's where Huntsville, Madison County is getting cut off. They don't have that property that accesses the runway. And that's what I'm pushing right now. And so if I don't keep that up, that's just going to turn into gravel and it's going to be worth nothing.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
So you may have said, but in the past, how much money has the county put forth toward?
The county is, I went to them back when Matthew was on here for $40,000 because we had an $800,000 grant and we were going to lose it if we didn't use it. Mel Potter was mayor then, and he said, Rudder, I can come up with a 5%, which was $40,000. And I went to Matthew, and he said he could come up with it if 2 or 3 of the board members come along with it. Well, I went to each one of them and polled them, and they all voted yes, and we got that 40. When Mike Ashburn was on the commission temporary, I got him to come up 20,000 because we had a change order on a turnaround that was supposed to run $250,000 and it went $350,000. So there was no matching funds for where they come in and say change order. The state wouldn't do it, so I had to come up with 95, and I got 20 off of him. And then there's another time or two, I forget who all I begged for it, but.
Well, that makes me feel better.
Okay.
I think there's been 2 times.
Yeah.
2 times, yes, that's the 2 times.
We have supported the airport.
But I just feel like, and I've said this all along, that the county government should participate in keeping up that airport because it brings a lot into the county and the city.
Okay, with that, anything?
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate the work you do with the airport. You know, being an aviator myself, I have an interest in Scottsboro as our main airport because, as you can see, Stevenson takes no interest in their airport. They have.
Well, you know, and what happened was the mayor of Bridgeport, that's a story kind of in its own. I know everybody's ready to go, but the mayor of Bridgeport that time, I think he's dead now, give the airport away and wanted to move Bridgeport into Tennessee, and that just cut us off from Montgomery. It took me years to get that calmed down, you know.
Okay.
But I appreciate the work you do on that, and aviation is very important economic development.
Let me ask real quick, we can put this on the agenda for the next meeting to get this approved, and so we will put on the agenda for, I'm going to give you a little more money. I'm going to give you $25,148 for
Okay.
$25,000.
Hey, I'll take that 200 y'all got in that thing.
I did want to comment,
That's it, the commission's going to.
Bob, in the future, when Rutter's around, don't ever raise your hand.
I didn't know that.
Well, I don't know, it's appropriate sometimes.
You wouldn't ask the city for it.
I think we've had enough on the airport.
I better say that before I get that.
Thank you very much. Okay, with that, next item on the agenda, Commission, is we've had a discussion, special work session about looking at how we could be more efficient in some areas, and one of the areas was in consolidating maintenance of our county vehicles into a maintenance department or single maintenance facility. And one of the discussions was could we find a consultant that would be able to do that kind of work. In your packet is a quote, and I think this is professional services kind of work, and I'll ask county attorney for that. It is that, and they have proposed about a 3-month, they could do that work in about a 3-month effort. It's a little broader than just looking at a maintenance facility. It's really taking a look at public works and sanitation department with an organizational review to improve effectiveness, and so that would look into looking at the operations to look at redundancies, any misalignments, unclear ownership, span of control issues, labor-intensive processing, lack of standardization, suboptimal use of technology. The price would be $45,660 to be paid out in 4 payments. They would work. It is a fairly extensive process of having discussions and looking into data, a lot of data review, and they would also look into the other organizations that have this kind of facility or organization in place already. So it is an opportunity to get someone to come in and take a look at that. Opportunity to be more efficient in those areas, and I think we could. I believe that the purpose of this in efficiency would be also to save money for the county in doing this kind of work. So let me open it up for discussion or questions, and about do we want to consider pursuing something like this?
I certainly believe that if we're interested in pursuing consolidating the maintenance departments, then we certainly need professional counsel on that to make sure that we're making the right decision.
Okay, anybody else?
I think it's wonderful to, in whatever you're doing, to have a outside set of eyes that are trained to look for things, efficiencies, duplication, maybe some suggestions on how to do things better. What I really hope for is we get back a report that there are no inefficiencies and we're running smooth. But and that'd be wonderful. And if there are things that we can improve, I think by virtue we're gonna have money well spent.
Question?
I think we have a
Okay.
fiduciary responsibility to review these things.
What I would propose doing is inviting this company to come and, we'll put it on the new business agenda, but invite this company to come as part of the discussion to give an explanation of their approach to doing this. I think we can take the time to do that with that. So with that, we will put it on the new business agenda for the next meeting and have that discussion. Last item is the Jackson County Resiliency Plan recommendation. As you know, we received a $187,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Commerce, really out of their Atlanta Economic Development Authority office for a Jackson County Economic Resiliency Plan. We've discussed before, we put a bid package on the street. We did not, by state bid law, this was not required, but given it was federal funds, they requested that we open it up for bids, and we did that. We had 4 respondents. Unfortunately, one was non-compliant. They failed to submit the bid sheet that was required as a part of the package, and one unfortunately sent theirs by overnight UPS and it arrived 4 hours late for bid opening, so it had to be rejected. So we had 2 bids that we considered. A part of the request for quotation was the requirement or that there would be a selection of 2 to 4 respondents that would go through an interview process with a committee to make a recommendation to the Jackson County Commission, and that committee would be comprised with steering committee members as well as 2 commission members. The 2 bids that we received, one was from GMC out of Huntsville and the other was KPS out of Birmingham, and they teamed with another prominent organization, SANES, out of Huntsville, both in the business of doing this kind of work. We had to look at this as we looked at these proposals from a number of different areas. One, were they compliant with the RFQ? Both were compliant with the RFQ. Were they compliant with the statement of work that we had in the RFQ? And both were compliant with that. So then it became the issue of the sufficiency of the statement of their proposal as well as their response in the interview. In the interview session, we asked 9 questions. And they were given those questions in several weeks in advance of the interview process. And so they came before the panel to make their presentations. Their presentation was required to discuss their proposal, respond to the questions, and respond to the questions. The panel that conducted the interviews consisted of Jason Davidson, Superintendent of County Schools, Mr. Jack Lovelady, Chairman of First Southern Bank, Jim Barclay, Chairman of the Mountain Lakes Chamber Board of Directors, Nathan Lee, the Executive Director of EDA, Paul Kinnemer, Commissioner District 2, and myself. As I said, they were compliant in RFQ and scope, both companies that we reviewed. Of the 9 questions, each member was asked to score and make a determination, KPS or GMC, in terms of their score, one being their preference to, their view of being more qualified and better, given their response. Of the 9 questions, 4 members voted KPS, scored better. 2 members scored GMC better. Another question that was asked is to be considered is, does a member have confidence that the company can perform the responsibilities as outlined in the request for quote and the statement of work? 4 members said both were tied in their score of confidence. 1 member, KPS, had a better score. 1 member had GMC better score. We then had a verbal discussion. Each member had a chance to talk about their assessment of the 2 companies. 4 members in that discussion recommended KPS, 2 members recommended GMC. After that final discussion, after that discussion of everybody sharing, we had a final discussion and all members proposed recommending KPS as the company that we would proceed with. So with that, that is the results. You have in your packet tonight the bid sheets from both companies. As we say, they are both compliant and they're both good companies. KPS bid was for $180,000, $7,000 below the grant request. GMC came in at $190,000, slightly above the request and $10,000 above KPS. The committee is recommending KPS at large. The committee at large is recommending KPS be contracted with to do this resiliency plan. This plan really is a strategic plan for Jackson County. We see great opportunities for Jackson County given the growth that's occurring across North Alabama and the whole Tennessee Valley. And we do believe that this is going to extend growth opportunities to Jackson County. And so the reason we pursued this grant request is we need to have a plan. We do not currently have a plan for Jackson County on how we address opportunities for growth. This is to lay out a 5 to 10 year plan. This effort will require that they look at the economic sectors and identify the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities in all those sectors, as well as look at the infrastructure that we have in the county and identify the weaknesses that we have in infrastructure, and we believe that there are weaknesses with our infrastructure for future growth. They will be involved in interviewing our citizens, putting a survey out, so they will have public meetings with across the county. They will have a survey that any citizen can respond to. They're required to have discussions with our civic organizations, our leaderships in our cities and towns, as well as with all other organizations and agencies in the county as they make their assessment. They're required to work with the steering committee throughout the process, and they're required to work with the county commission throughout the process, and every other month they're required to come before the county commission to give a status of their progress. And the steering committee is required to meet with the county commission on a periodic basis to give their view of the status of the project, progress, and recommendation. So that's where we are with this. It's a rather extensive process. It is a 1-year process. So the recommendation from the panel that conducted the interviews is KPS be considered for contract for this effort. Any questions?
Well, I want to thank you for that comprehensive report and also the work that went into that. Thank you for serving, those of you that served on this. And to me, I think this is something that has been needed from the get-go, because how can we guide our work if we don't have a plan to know where the need is, what needs to happen, and we get away from reacting to things, and we get proactive in our work. And so I'm thankful for the progress that's been made on this.
Okay, any other comment, questions?
It was a privilege to serve on the interview committee, along with Mr. Lovely Lady back there. Very extensive process we went through. Boy, those two groups are just neck and neck. So I think we're in good hands.
I will offer that by the schedule we laid out with the Department of Commerce EDA office, we were supposed to be in contract in October. But because of the availability of the two companies, we had to delay the interview process until early November. So I will ask if it would be consideration setting aside the rules and proceeding to allow the award of the contract with KPS.
I'll make a motion, we set aside the rules.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we have a motion to award the Jackson County Economic Resiliency Plan contract to KPS Group Incorporated
I'll make
of
that
Birmingham, Alabama, for a price of $180,000?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. Any questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. With that, that concludes our work session. At this time, we'll move to, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. This time, let's move to reports from the staff. County Administrator.
I don't have anything, thank you.
County Engineer.
Nothing, sir, thank you.
County Attorney.
I don't have anything.
All right, sir. Comments from the Commission, District 4, Commissioner McBride.
Yeah, I just want to say, it's a great crowd, probably the biggest crowd that we've seen here in quite a while, not the biggest crowd we've seen. Thank you to the people who came and spoke. I think that's what our county needs, is more here involved in what's happening in your areas, your districts. You know, we talk about this plan to improve our county. And if we didn't hear from people telling you about our infrastructure and our weaknesses, then, you know, we'd be at a disadvantage. So if more people would come out and say, hey, this is what we need, here's the problems we're seeing, and we're here to listen. And I act on what you tell us. So, you know, we do a lot of things as a group. We work really well together, and I want to say thank you to these guys, because I think everybody up here, their heart's in the right place, and that is to make our county grow. But a lot of things that we do, people don't hear about. I mean, and just an example, I'm still hearing people say, well, when are y'all going to get to work, or when are you going to approve the slide over on 38? We approved that already a month ago? But it's kind of our fault because people don't know. But I encourage you to let people know what's going on, because we're really trying hard to make a difference. But it's going to take everybody being positive and seeing our growth. It's slow growth, and being positive about what we're trying to do and help us along. Thank you guys for coming and sharing, and the stewards and we'll certainly look at that a little further and address that as well. But thank you, Cody, for coming and talking to us about the water problem. I'm very aware, and now everybody's aware.
Okay, District 3, Commissioner Buckman.
Yes, I want to say this past weekend, wonderful to see our country stop and reflect on the veterans that serve and hopefully honor the people that give up their time and often their lives, and the families that go into supporting the men and women who are willing to serve our country. And none of this is possible. The lives we enjoy, the freedoms we enjoy, our ability to practice our religion and to live a life without just abject fear. And there's a lot of fear and angst in this world, and I'm just thankful that people have done what they could to serve, and I'm honored by their service, and just thankful that we still get to do that, and that people take the time to do that. So thank you all veterans.
Thank you. District 2, Commissioner Kelmer.
I'd like to ride Mr. McBride's train. Appreciate y'all coming tonight and appreciate you calling me, let me know your concerns. If we don't know things, we can't work on them.
District 1, Commissioner Gully.
I'll just echo that. I appreciate public input. That's what we're elected to serve the citizens. And without input from you, it's sometimes we need to know things. So I thank you for coming and letting us know your issues. And I promise you we'll work diligently to try to get some resolve for you.
Okay, again, I would say thanks. Thanks for being here. And let me say thanks for the work that went in tonight's session. We knew we had a busy session. We had a lot on the agenda, and it took a lot of work to get to where we were with these items. And so, thanks for that. Just a note, if you want to hear more about the county tomorrow morning at 7:30, you can come have breakfast at the Civic Center here at Goose Pond. And there's a State of the County presentation tomorrow. A lot of our departments have put a lot of work into getting information together so that we can present that information and tell the story of our county and what our county is trying to do for our citizens. So would like to invite everybody that's here and anybody that hears this tonight before 7:30 in the morning to please come. So thank you for that. Our next meeting date is November the 27th. It'll be right here at 5 o'clock. And so with that, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion to have a second.
I'll second that.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.